This one's going. I'm so scared. Hi loves, so today's video is not really a light topic and I'm like super nervous to post this, mainly because I feel like I haven't opened up to people, especially friends and family, about this, and I'm just nervous for them to watch it. But I feel like God gave me this platform to share with you guys, and I look at you guys as my best friends, and I know that you guys do the same with me. I felt like I should share this with you guys because it is something that a lot of women go through. 1 in 8 couples have a very hard time getting pregnant. And this video is going to be sponsored by Let's Get Checked. I very rarely take sponsorships just because I don't believe in doing them unless it's something that benefits me and you guys, or if it's something I truly believe in. But basically, I have been wanting to get my fertility checked because Connor and I have just been very anxious to have kids, and the doctors really don't want to test your fertility until it's been a year. So even when I went to my doctors, she was so nice, but she said like we're not going to do any testing until it's been a year. And very shortly after that is when I got the email from them, and they basically do like fertility testing at home. So I thought it was the most perfect thing, and I just really felt like it was something I needed to do to put my mind at ease, or to see if there was something wrong, then I could start fixing it now rather than waiting like another however many months. For this video, over the past several months, I've been filming every month, and I'm going to share that with you guys. It is super raw, but it's something that I know I need to do. So quickly, I just want to talk about the testing before we get into the rest of the video. So basically, Let's Get Checked is an at-home testing service. They have testing for basically anything. So for women, they do have a whole bunch of fertility tests. For men, you can get a bunch of things tested. Like you get your thyroid tested, any of those sorts of things. So it comes in this little box. It's very discreet, like it's not going to be obvious of what it is. In the box, it comes with a little bag to ship it back. It comes with the test tube, and then it also comes with a little kit of how to draw your blood. And I'm not good with blood whatsoever. Every time I get my blood taken, I faint. I didn't faint from doing this, so that was awesome. I will say that it was a bit of a trial and error. So I'm going to tell you guys how it worked the best for me. So basically, you just prick your finger, but you want to make sure you really prick at the top of it. And then you want to hold this down. It doesn't hurt, but it just kind of feels like a little sting at first. So basically, Connor just like held it in, and then he moved it like just back and forth, like very, very lightly. And then I just put my finger over the tube, and then I collected my sample, and then I just put it back in the little bag that it came in, and then I put that back in the box, and then I just put everything into this shipping bag, and I shipped it off. And then I got my results in 5 days. So I'm going to talk to you guys about my results after I share all the videos with you guys. I do have a coupon code, which is Emmeline20. I'm going to leave the link for this stuff in the description box, so definitely check it out. I love it so much that I actually am going to do a second fertility test from them, just because I really enjoyed the process and I thought it was awesome to do it at home. I'll talk more about the types of tests that you guys can get from them after I share with you guys my personal story. Here's a quick backstory of Connor and I. Connor and I have known each other since birth, and we started kind of like talking, flirting at age 14 and 13. Then by the time we were 15 and 16, we were dating. We actually never broke up. Like, we've just been together since we were so young. We'll be celebrating our 10-year anniversary next month. But at age 15 and 16, we were already talking about kids. We knew we wanted a family really young. We always said, like, by the time we're 30, we want to be done having kids. We just want to be like young parents that are really involved with their kids and just do tons of fun things with them. So as we got older, it was like no secret that we wanted kids. Everybody knew it. Everyone joked around with us saying, you guys are going to be that couple that gets pregnant on your honeymoon. And we were like, we probably will. And like, we were so excited at that thought of like, we could be pregnant like from our honeymoon, and how like fun would that be to just start off our marriage that way. So we got married in April of 2019, and basically we decided that the first like 3 months of being married, we wouldn't put the pressure on ourselves of like really like noting everything down, kind of like going crazy with trying to get pregnant. We were like, let's just see if God allows it to happen. So that's kind of what we did the first 3 months. By the time that we got to July, we were both really itching for kids, and that we both have some health issues that could potentially stop us or make it harder to have kids. So we were getting a little worried. I know it was only 3 months, but we were like, you know, my sister got pregnant on the first try, and a lot of people we knew had just gotten pregnant on the first try. So we were like, why don't we actually start like noting everything down and really just monitoring. So this is when I started to film. Okay. So it is the month of October that I've missed the first day of my period, which is so weird. I had like no spotting whatsoever yesterday, and then this morning when I woke up I still had no spotting, and I was like still fully convinced that like I wasn't pregnant, but I was like, but that is weird that I wouldn't even have like a little bit of spotting. So I did just take these like HCG test, and they came back negative, and I was like, so I feel like if I missed it and I have nothing today, that like I don't know, like I could be pregnant. So I took another one, and that one also says negative. I was like, maybe there's just something off about it. I guess I'll just keep you guys updated if anything changes, or when I finally get my period. We'll see. I just got my period. It's like maybe a half hour later. So I'm obviously kind of disappointed, but I still feel pretty good. I don't know. I think like I'm just at a point where I'm like, whenever it happens, because I know it's gonna be the best timing. And I really didn't feel like it was going to be this month, which I think is a good mindset for me to have, for me to think every month like it's just not going to be the month. And if it magically happens, it happens, and that's awesome. So I don't know why I'm crying. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I feel like when, gosh, I don't want to cry. I I feel like when you're like actively trying to conceive, you can say as much as you want, like, I didn't think it was happening this month, or I don't need it to happen anytime soon. It's like whenever God wants it to happen, which is truly how I feel. But still, like, every month when you do get a negative test back, it is really hard, and I really hate it. I was actually watching this YouTuber, and basically they've been trying for 7 years, and I can't even imagine what they're going through. We've been trying for like 6 months, so that's like nothing. But I think that, I remember something that they said is that like the trying to conceive like period is like really cruel, and it's really hard because it's like every single month it's like you do everything right, and then you get your hopes up, and even if you don't get your hopes up, you still in the back of your mind like kind of think like maybe it's gonna happen this month. And you just, it's hard because you start to imagine like what your life would be like, or telling your husband like that you're pregnant, and you just think of all these things. It's hard because for me personally, like usually the day that like I do get my period, it's hard for me, but then by the next day like I feel better, and I'm like, okay, we'll just try again, it's fine. And then like I feel good, but then it's kind of like then the process repeats itself, and it's like that whole like 2-week wait period. You're like sitting there like, could I be pregnant, could I not be pregnant, and you want to take these pregnancy tests, and you're like over analyzing your symptoms, and it's a lot. And I know that I shouldn't be upset about it, because there's been so many situations in life where I've looked back and I'm just like, I'm so glad that that didn't happen when I wanted it to happen, because it worked out so much better. But it's hard, and I think I'm in a place too where I don't have anyone that's like my age that's going through this, so I feel like I don't have anyone to talk to. Obviously, like, I'm sure so many of you guys are going through this, and we have each other to talk to, but it's also like I just wish I had, like, I could call a friend and just like have someone. So I'm okay. Like, I feel like sometimes these videos, if I'm like raw like this, comes off as though like I'm like really depressed, and I'm like sitting in my house all the time like so sad, and I'm really not. Like, I'm okay. I'm just having a moment right now, and I'm feeling better already. But I think I just want to like share when I do have these raw emotions with you guys, just in case any of you guys are going through the same thing. The beginning of November was really hard because I had this 1 week where just everybody was asking me if I was pregnant, and I felt like I couldn't escape the pregnancy questions. And it wasn't one of those things where it was just like, are you pregnant? And I was like, no, and then it went away. It was like these conversations that would just be like, well, are you sure you're not pregnant? And I feel like when people say like, are you sure you're not pregnant, it kind of just adds to it. There's obviously certain people that when they ask me, like, I want to talk to them about it, and I'm very comfortable with talking to about it. But there's other people where it kind of comes across as like just them being nosy, and also it just really hurts me because I'm trying really hard to not constantly focus on being pregnant and stuff like that, just for my own mental state, because it's a really hard thing to go through when you're trying to get pregnant and you're not. And so then to have people remind you, it's just frustrating. And it's kind of like if you're trying to get into a college or trying to get a job, or if you want to get engaged, just having people constantly say like, oh, did you ever get that job? Did they hire you? And maybe they didn't hire you. It just like reminds you that you didn't get hired. And it's really hard and upsetting, and it kind of brings you through all the emotions again. And so that's basically how my first week of November was. And then I was with a few people one day, and they just kept bringing up pregnancy. Like, I felt like it was like every like 10 minutes pregnancy was just being brought up. And I left there feeling so upset, and I came home and I cried, and that's when I filmed my clip. And I kind of like pulled myself together, but then I was crying all night, and it's just not like me to cry over something. So I know that this is something that I just want so badly that I'm, you know, starting to get very emotional over it. But I was talking to one of my friends, and Gabby, she actually gave me the best advice ever. She is an angel because it has changed my mindset so much. I don't even know if she realizes how grateful I am for her and this advice she gave me. But she said that maybe God is wanting some things from me before I get pregnant. And she said that what I should do is just like be still, be quiet, and kind of listen to God and just see what he's still waiting on, like from me, before this all happens. So basically what she means by that is basically make a list of things that I feel like God would want like me to do, or me to change in my heart, or me to change my mind or lifestyle, whatever, before I become pregnant. So some of the things that I wrote down were like, obviously, like eat healthier. I have a really bad sweet tooth, and I know that like when I'm pregnant one day, I'm not gonna want to be eating all this sugar and so on and so forth. I definitely would want to have like a better health routine for a future baby. And I think that there's some things that I could definitely like change in my heart. And I just really loved this advice because it gave me almost something to look forward to. I'm such a planner. So not being able to like plan when I would have a baby, it's like obviously hard because it's out of my control, but being able to plan out things that I can be working on, it makes me feel like I'm working towards a goal, and it kind of makes me feel not so helpless anymore, because throughout this process you feel very helpless because you're doing the right things every month, and you know, you're doing everything right and nothing's happening. So it's very discouraging and it's really hard. And a lot of the times, like, I think it's easier for women who are trying to get pregnant to start to blame themselves. They could say like, oh, I had a little bit too much coffee, like maybe that's what did it, or I did this and maybe that's what's like causing me to not get pregnant. And at the end of the day, if you're supposed to get pregnant, you will, and nothing will stop it. And it's something that I've had to learn. Something else that I'm really thinking is going to help me is not taking pregnancy tests anymore. I would kind of plan out in my mind throughout the month, like, okay, I ovulated this week, now next week I could, or like the week after, whatever, like that's what I could start taking pregnancy tests. But taking pregnancy tests is basically like getting denied your dream every single month. And I think that was taking a huge toll on me, because it was just another constant reminder, but also like a very like in your face, like this is not happening sort of thing. And to have that happen like every single month was really hard. And then sometimes you think like maybe it's a false negative, so then like a few days later you get all excited again, take another test, and again it's negative. I think what's very hard about this too is just you don't know how long you're going to be on this journey. I could literally get pregnant next month, or I could still be on this journey this time next year. And I think that's what's hard and scary about it, because if I knew I was going to get pregnant in a few months, obviously I would have like no worries. I'd be like, I'm just going to enjoy this time that I have with Connor and just enjoy not being pregnant. And then when it happens in a few months, like then everything will work out. But I think if you know, like, it's just like the fear of the unknown. You don't know when it's going to happen. So you kind of want to rush it just so it does happen. And I just don't think it's a good mindset to have. So I'm really trying to work on it. And I hope that if I'm on this journey way longer than I ever thought I would be, that I can constantly remain in this mindset, or hopefully come back to this video and just recenter my mind and just know that this is where my mind really needs to be. I think it's good for me to post these. I'm literally terrified to post these videos though. Like I just feel so nervous and anxious. Like I keep waking up in the middle of the night thinking about posting these videos, and I'm just getting so anxious about it because I don't like talking about my feelings. I love talking about my experiences and things like this to people who I know it will help, but I hate opening up to people like friends and family, because then I know that they're going to like address it, and I hate it. Like, I just don't like talking about stuff like this. And I try to just like brush it off, and I'm like, oh, it's fine, like whatever. And I know a lot of people, like in Connor's family, watch my videos. Last night was Thanksgiving, and everyone was like, oh, I always watch your videos, or my daughter watches your videos. And it just makes me so anxious knowing that people like that watch my videos. And the thing is like, I have to post these because I know it's gonna help people, and I don't want to like use this platform for something silly. I want to be able to share with you guys what I'm going through and hopefully help you guys. That footage, I hate watching it because it's really intense. And another thing that has happened to me a lot throughout this journey is I'll have months or even like a day or so of just feeling maybe like really good about things, and just saying to myself, if it doesn't happen this month, that's totally fine, because I'm okay with it. And if it doesn't happen for years, that's okay too, because I know God's timing is perfect. And then like, I'll feel that way for a little. Like the month of October, I pretty much felt that way the entire month until I took the test, and then afterwards I just got really upset. But then you'll have months where you're just really wanting it to happen, and you're really sad about it. And it's very hard because you're on such an emotional roller coaster, and you know you shouldn't think about it too much. And it's kind of hard to just control your emotions and stay even and like mellow with your thoughts, because it's something that does kind of control your life. And with that being said, I want to talk about the test. So the test that I originally ordered was the fertility test, which gives you results on like all of your fertility hormones. So when I received it, I didn't realize that you have to take it on day 3 of your cycle, and I was on day 7, so I wasn't able to take that test. So I purchased another test, which is the ovarian reserve test, which tells you which gives you insight on how many eggs you have left, and it checks the anti-Mullerian hormone, and that's how it tells you. So I went for that test, but I will say I'm very anxious to take the fertility test, which is the one that I have sitting right here. So my next cycle, I'm going to do that. So that should be at like the beginning of December. If you guys are interested in hearing my results from that, I can definitely post a video or something learning about it. But I did take the ovarian reserve test. I was out in the store the other day, and I saw that they basically, so they text you when your results are ready. So I got a text from them saying my results are ready, and I was so nervous, and I opened it up. So I'm just gonna share with you guys what my results were. It said that my anti-Mullerian hormone test returned as normal. So I am in the normal range, which is good. But what this test also showed me, which a lot of you guys have been saying to me, maybe I should test and to see if I could have PCOS. So because of my test results, I am now able to rule out that it could be PCOS because my levels are normal. The test definitely gave me a little bit of peace of mind, but I do want to do the fertility test. If any of you guys are in the same like stage as I am, I would highly recommend taking the test. And like I said, I have a 20% off coupon code, Emmeline20. That way you guys can get a deal on it. Something else, if you want to test for, is you could test for your thyroid, because a lot of women who can't get pregnant, they do have an underlying thyroid issue. I think that's also like a really good thing to test for. Or even if you're just going through something and you might suspect that you could have some sort of issue, but you don't want to pay for a doctor's visit, or you don't want to have to go to the doctors, you just want to do it at home. It's discreet, it's really easy. Like I said, you just take your sample in the morning, you send it out the same day, and then 5 days later you get your result. It's just like a really easy, hassle-free way to do it. So I would definitely recommend trying it out. Like I said, I'll leave the link for it in the description box down below. I hope this video helped you guys, and if you want to share your fertility journey, definitely share it down below and maybe we can help each other. I am more than open to people DMing me and us just like being like Instagram buddies and just talking to each other about, you know, how we're doing throughout the day, because I think it would be really helpful to me and I'm sure it would be for you guys too. So I love you guys so much and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.